Well, some airlines turning to temporary salary hikes in hopes of solving those staffing shortages. Some United Airlines pilots are being offered triple pay, and Spirit Airlines offered double pay for flight attendants. But so far, doesn't seem to be working that well. Talking of which, former Spirit Airlines CEO Ben Baldanza joins me now. Ben, great to see you. You're the perfect person to address this. I guess my first question is, how did we get in this mess?
Well, Ashley, it's great to be with you. Thank you. Well, we got into this mess early on in the holidays because of weather. But then, like Jeff said, when you combine the Omicron call-ins for sick, it's been difficult. You had a major airline pilot union leader tell his pilots that if they've even been exposed or believe they've been exposed to the virus, they should call in sick. And so what you have is a period of time, these holidays, when airlines typically see more sick calls because, of course, people want to stay home with family. And now with Omicron spreading around, airlines have just gotten way behind the eight ball, and too many people are calling in and they just can't catch up.
Talking of the holidays, Ben, you know, it seems that the airlines went ahead and scheduled all these flights to keep up with demand because a lot of people were flying for the holidays. And so that kind of made the situation even worse. If you had kept to a tighter capacity, you would have been able to handle these you know, the demand. I know there were a lot of people trying to get on planes, but the decision to schedule all of these flights in a very uncertain period kind of made that situation worse, did it not?
It did, and you saw the same problems this summer in the same way. Airlines just have a tough time not putting planes in the air when they see there's demand, and sometimes the schedule planners, the people who design the schedule and decide how much to fly, aren't as well connected as they need to be to the operations team, who know how many people they have, how many pilots and flight attendants they'll have, how many gates they have at airports, and things like that. That coordination just needs to get greater. You know, the industry had a pretty decent Thanksgiving, so I was optimistic that they had learned from the summer. But as we've gotten now to the Christmas, New Year's holiday, you realize they still haven't linked those operations up with the schedule planners quite well enough yet.
So far, those offers of extra money, you know, double time, triple time, isn't really working. Why do you think that is?
Well, let's put it this way. You don't want sick people to come to work, of course. So if you offer double or triple time, you have to be assuming that at least some of the people who are calling in sick aren't really sick, meaning they could come into work and accept that double pay. If everyone calling in truly is sick or truly has, you know, tested positive for the virus, then it doesn't matter how much you pay them, they're probably not going to come in and come back to work. So on the one hand, they might have been betting on the fact that there were, you know, people calling in that didn't really need to, but maybe there just aren't that many of those people. And it seems to me a good idea that they tried that incentive, and I'm sure it got a few more people back in, but not as many as they needed.
Is there a concern in the industry that we're doing these stories, all the media, of course, doing these stories every day, that it's really going to hurt demand in the next, I don't know, next 2 to 3 months? People have seen all the pictures of people sleeping at the airports, taking 2-3 days to get home. How much of a black eye is this for the airline industry?
You know, I think it's going to resolve itself pretty quickly, and let me explain why. Typically, the month of January is a very weak month for leisure travel. Most people aren't traveling for vacations in January or even in early February. And normally businesses pick up their travel during this time, but businesses just aren't traveling the way they used to and aren't traveling right now as much because of Omicron and others. So airlines are really going to have a little bit of a breather here over the next 30 to 40 days, where everyone who's not coming in now, even if they tested positive, will be through their quarantine period. period. Also, airlines are hiring in big-time hiring mode. So they're involved in hiring a lot of people, training a lot of people. And what their real next challenge is going to be is the natural peak of leisure demand that happens in the back half of February and March when kids are on spring break and things like that. And that's when we'll see how the industry has really recovered. The good news, in a sense, for the industry is there's just not going to be a lot of demand for the next 30 to 40 days. It's hard to say that's good news, but in terms of getting the operations back, that is good news.
I guess it is in this particular case. Hopefully things will sort themselves out quickly. Ben Baldanza, former CEO of Spirit Airlines. Ben, great stuff. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ashley. Always good to be with you.